mostly IT. The people actually using this platform as a service here are the developers. And the people using the software as a service layer are the business units. You know, the person in charge of the sales and marketing or the HR departments. So they are the ones that are using software as a service. So far, so good? Remember, this is important. I'm going to quiz you in the end. So why am I here talking to you? I wanted to give you the basic constructs of cloud computing, right? But this is because if you take a look at this graphic, it's not confusing, but if you think about the data that's created in a company every single day, you know, contracts and a lot of other things that you are doing, you know, when you're working at it, you're using it all the time, you are accessing that data all the time, and over time, you know, the contract signed, the deal is done, it's last accessed, but you cannot delete it. You need it for compliance reasons, litigation reasons, or for even corporate governance. So you're not accessing every day, but you have to keep. Because you have to keep for all the reasons I mentioned, litigation, compliance, etc. What happens is IT is suffering because now he has to keep everything. Basically, legal is telling you've got to keep everything. Records manager is saying you've got to keep everything, and plus I need to know what's the retention of each one of those. So IT is having to deal with a lot of storage capacity needs. So that's happening right now. So now think about the active data and the inactive data. The reason I put it up here is that there are companies who are making strategies. For instance, let me take care of that active data in-house because I need it all the time. It's active. And some companies are making the decision to store the inactive data in a cloud. So that's one of the strategies that IT are taking into account in order to deal with the storage capacity issue and cost as well. So why am I telling you all this? Because I do believe that you have to be involved in the conversation. You have to be working with IT and legal to make sure that when IT is making a decision which cloud vendor to use, that they take into account not only the fact that they need to deal with storage capacity and costs and how to deal with active and inactive data, but they also take into account, you know, retention. They also take it into account that perhaps for some reasons, some litigation reasons or legal reasons or compliance, some records, some information cannot be altered. And how do you do that? And there is ways to store that data, and also you've got to have that process in place, the records management process in place, right? You need to have a process that is consistent, repeatable, controlled. You need to influence IT in the decisions they are making it today. So IT, legal, as well as records management need to work together to make sure that you're making the best decision for your company. What I want to highlight here to you is not all cloud vendors are the same. There are many cloud vendors, cloud storage vendors out there who have been in business for 2 years, 3 years, perhaps 5 years. And do you think that's enough for them to know all about the best practice for records management? All the best practices on how to deal with situations of data loss or outages, etc. So I want you who are here in this conference at ARMA to know that you need to be involved in the conversation. So when IT is choosing a vendor, you have to make sure to influence them that are they looking for a trusted vendor? Are you getting the expertise you need and the experience you need to deal with the issues and best practices that you know you need to put in place? And also, the enterprise, we call it cloud vendor or cloud storage, provides a much higher level of security, accessibility to the information when you need. 24/7. I mean, that's what the cloud is. If you need, if you need it today, you should get it today. Privacy retention and disposition of the information. So I'm just here to make you aware that there are certain criteria that you need to be involved in the conversation. So I gave you the basic concept of cloud. cloud computing, cloud storage, right? And I'm telling you that you need to look for vendors that are more than just cloud storage vendors. You need to provide a whole set of things. And it just so happens that Armanda has been in the business of storing your information since 1951, for a lot of years. And we do believe, and here's our view of the world, we do believe we are the best vendors in that sense, that we know what it means to store and protect your information from the physical paper and records. And we are applying the same level of standards to the digital information now. So we do have backup services, email management and archiving. We have inactive file archiving. So we have a whole host of, archiving for medical images. So we have a whole host of services that can help you. So if you do get involved in the conversation, you now know a little bit about cloud storage, right? And make sure that your company is making the right decision, okay?